Just want to do a really quick video here of how I've used Diffusion to make the music video for Snake Charmer. So this was a collaborative process with DJ Trip, and we both had a look at Diffusion. Basically I took on the compute side of things, and we worked together on it, but I'll just go through and show the settings that I used and a couple of tips. Not so much a tutorial. There's a few tutorials out there already that are pretty good, but if anyone's interested in how I made the music video, then we'll cover it here. So you want to try and get the high-end GPU. So I was always trying to get the P100 here. It's a bit geeked out. Maybe people don't really care about that, but there's a lot of code and stuff in here. It might be a bit confronting for people that aren't comfortable with that, but you basically more or less can ignore it and then just enter the information you need to put into these different fields here. So as I said, not so much a tutorial here, but just showing what I've done. So the settings I used for the resolution was 1088 square. We decided to go with square because then you don't have to crop it if you're going to go landscape or portrait. So it's just a nice way to get the most out of what we create. It can go on different platforms, different devices. I'll have a quick look here. Okay, so this is actually this is pretty difficult to get this right, and if you copy these settings, they may or may not work, and it is a little bit random, so you just have to keep an eye on it as it goes. But this is for the orbiting clouds at the end of the video, and there's another section in the middle where it's similar as well. But to get this just right, so basically the camera's movement is moving sideways and turning as well, so it's orbiting around through the space, and that's how you get that really cool orbiting effect, which I haven't really seen anyone else do. So if you want to try it, good luck with getting it to work. It was pretty tricky. I think I retried this 6 or 10 times before I got it right, and it's obviously it's a bit it's time consuming because you only get maybe one frame every 10 or 15 minutes or something like that. So down here, so this is where the fun part is really. So the text prompts, and so I've just got one here, but in most of the other videos there were multiple text prompts, so there'd be different keyframes, say 0, 30, 60. I'd have different text in there, so it changes throughout the video. And so this is what I used for the final image there in the video. And I contemplated not giving this away, but what do I have to gain by holding this confidentially? By protecting this IP, I can't necessarily make any money out of it, and I'm trying to give something back to the community. That's part of the Make Tech mission statement. So one of the cool things is if you add by Alex Gray, if you want to use that and see what it comes up with, I would strongly urge you to go and check out Alex Gray's art. Don't just throw it in there and go, oh, that looks cool. Like, actually check him out, because he's a really amazing artist, and the only reason I know about putting it in there is because I'm an art lover, and I found out about him a few decades ago, and he's an amazing artist, so props to Alex Gray. So the way I've tried to word this: snake hissing, pink smoke above orange clouds with morning sun shining through by Alex Gray, trending on ArtStation, Unreal Engine, 4K, Sony A7. All those words are very specifically chosen and put in that order with that punctuation to get the result that I wanted. And there was a lot of trial and error, changing things around, removing things, or it took a while to get it just right. Actually, I'm not sure if this exact text prompt was the one that was used for the end of the video, but this was the last one that I was playing with, at least. So There's a few things to discuss here, actually. I'll go into it a bit. So, snake, you can have other things like snake monster or snake demon. You can use more descriptive words. Keeping it simple makes it more simple for the model, but not necessarily beneficial depending on what vision you have that you're trying to create. And then, I think adding a color to every single thing that you're talking about in the text prompt really helps as well. So here I could have had a color for the snake, but it also, when you have too many different colored things, it does kind of start to miss some of them. I think like it can get a bit overloaded, but so pink smoke above orange clouds, that seems to work okay. Morning sun inherently will give you that warmer colored light, and I mean, generally you can think about this as if you're trying to create a real photo with real tools that exist, and how would you do that, So if you're going out for photography, all photographers know that the best time of the day, or you get a really nice effect, at least with the sunset and sunrise lighting. You get a nice warm glow and the light's coming in on a lower angle. So saying morning sun in there gives you that effect. And then, as I said, with Alex Gray, go and check him out. And you'll see, like, maybe if you look at Alex Gray's art and then you see that music video, you'll see how that has influenced it. Trending on ArtStation, so that's something I've picked up from a few other videos. People have suggested putting that in there. It does seem to make a difference. Obviously, the models have been trained on the art that's in that platform, so that seems to help create high quality images. And Unreal Engine, again, that gives a little bit of a CGI sort of look, which may be not what you're looking for, but the benefits, in my opinion, outweigh the cost to give it more detail, and you get better results even if you're not looking for CGI. If you want photorealism, I'd say try Unreal Engine, or you can use Blender as well. In DALL-E 2, if you put Blender in there, that looks really good. So then 4K, you can say 4K, 8K, whatever. I just assumed there would be a lot of 4K images that the model has been trained on, so I've stuck with 4K, and that seems to work pretty well for me. And then this one's interesting, Sony A7. So I have an idea about this, and I've tried DSLR as well. So you can just use, instead of a type of camera, you can just say DSLR, which is a digital camera, and that creates good results as well. But if you have a Sony A7 or a different type of camera, it'll give a more specific result, not just on the based on the photos that have been taken with the Sony A7, like not just based on the technology itself, but also consider, actually, there's a meme about different people's style of photography depending on what camera they own, and it kind of relates back to that. Even if that is or isn't true, maybe there's some truth in it. I think there is. Different camera brands probably have different style users slightly, and so I think if you choose a different camera, you'll get a different style potentially, based on the general demographic of people that choose that brand or that type of camera. So that's something else to consider as well. And that basically the point of putting the camera in there is it gives you a nice depth of field effect. So I found was really nice. Like when I first tried it, I was quite stunned actually how well that worked. So I highly recommend doing that. And as far as the text prompts go, that's really exciting to basically be able to create new genres that are like a cross between different cyberpunk noir or whatever, and manga, or you can just mix it up, or even have different artists that have different styles and have those two different artists in there, and then you'll sort of create this new weird hybrid genre. But it's like, what's interesting to me is if you told someone to try and create this new genre, they might be able to do it once and then go, okay, you've got a hybrid genre there, and then if they say, okay, now do it again and again and again and again, and then have a consistency of what they're hitting there with that genre, I think would be pretty hard, because you don't have a precedent. And I feel like that's one thing that AI art offers, is guiding a new genre to exist. It's I mean, does that sound all weird? I don't know, but that's how I feel about it. It's yeah. And the other part about it as well is people have, or they've seen this video already, in the Snake Charmer video, and said, oh, it's great work. And I think it's hard to even take it as a compliment, to be honest, but I mean, I have put in a lot of effort with DJ Trip, so we've worked pretty hard to get the result, but I haven't really created the images. So the way I think of it is like a award-winning film producer. They don't touch the camera, they don't touch the editing, they talk to people, and the people then make the amazing film, like they'll talk to the actors. So if you think about it in that context, a director can win an award and be famous and rich, right? So they're obviously very, very valued, and so why should I not be able to take the praise when someone says, well done making that video, So I guess, that's a ethical thing, I guess. But that's my argument for that, is that directors can still win awards, and they don't touch any tools. They'll just talk to people, basically. And so that's a similar thing that's happening here. Also shout out to the Disco Diffusion creators, if I didn't mention that already. But well done to them for creating this open source tool. It's really quite amazing. It's sort of changing the culture of art in the world, and whether people like it or not, it's here to stay. And it's pretty cool. It's only one of the AI art models that are out there, one of the tools that are out there, but that's what I've used for this one. So the other tip with using Disco Diffusion I've found cool thing to do is, if it's up here, 3D, animation mode 3D. You basically do whatever you can to get more usable frames per compute time, because this took weeks of compute, so using 3D, then that will give you a sort of 3D interpreted frame for every AI generated frame, and I find getting one 3D frame for every real frame is a good ratio. More than that, it seems to get a bit lost and a bit weird. And then other than that, I won't go into too much more detail there, but I'll just bring over the DaVinci Resolve screen here. We can have a look at that. So here's the film clip fully broken down. It's maybe a bit too much information, I don't know, but we've got all the different little clips there and how they overlap, and some of them are in reverse and things like that. So what I wanted to show you up here, so basically as I was saying before, you want to get extra frames if possible, and so in DaVinci Resolve I've used optical flow. Now in Disco Diffusion, in the later, newer versions, they do have optical flow in there. I can't say whether it's good to use or not, I haven't tried it, but if it's anything like DaVinci Resolve, it should be good to go. But personally, I like to go to the Google Drive, download the folder of images from Disco Diffusion, and then bring that into the video editing software so you can manipulate it how you want, get the timing right. I'm sure people want to ask me, how'd you make that? What are the text prompts, etc. So I don't want to give everything away, but I'll give you some tips there. And yeah, that's what I have it. Yeah, so if you have any questions or anything, let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching. Bye.